Hey guys, wanted to do a video to kind of show my finished Glock 19 build, go over the parts that are on it and some of the modifications I had to do to get around some issues that popped up during building this. First thing, this is a WE Glock 19 base. It's a Gen 4 frame. I bought this secondhand from a guy on HopUp. And it did come with the slide and stuff, so I'll go over all the parts that are on it right now and some of my thoughts about building a gun like this. So first thing, it did come with 3 Glock 17 length magazines. I may pick up a Glock 19 magazine just to see what it looks like and maybe take some pictures and stuff for the Instagram, as the Glock 17 magazines do hang out quite a bit here. And I think it might look a little bit better with it flush with the magwell. But that's the magazine I have right now. This is a Tokyo Marui one. The other 2 I got were WE magazines. So there's that. Starting with the magwell, this is a Magpul magwell. I originally had a Cow magwell on here. It was metal. I wasn't a fan of how it looked or felt. So I swapped to the Magpul, which is why you see kind of 2 holes dremeled out of the rear backstrap here. Original magwell that I had kind of mounted up here, and the magwell kind of mounted a little bit different, so I had to dremel a new hole. Not a big deal, as my hand covers it and stuff when I'm holding it. And it fits the frame really well. Magazine slides in, no issues, and drops free. No hang-ups or anything there. This was stippled by the original owner. I did sand some of the stuff back here down, as I'm not a fan of how it kind of bit the web of my hand there. So it's a lot more comfortable now, and this probably isn't an area that you actually need increased grip. So, not sure why he did that. And he did some work. He did kind of start an undercut here, but I kind of raised it quite a bit more, gave it more finished look. And then I did dremel out this channel here, and I may stipple the bottom of it, as it's just really smooth after dremeling it. But my hand fits really well there, and it's comfortable. The trigger, this is a Cow trigger, kind of a metal trigger that has a better looking safety blade there. It did include some different colors. It included a red one and a gold one. I went with the black one, kind of goes with the look. Everything else on the gun is black for the most part. And it's a pretty nice trigger. This is an Element X300 Ultra. It's pretty bright. It functions the same. You push either side in to activate the light, or you can have it toggled on by pushing it up or down. I'll lock into place there. A little bit different from like the Streamlight TLR1 functions and stuff like that. So I like these a lot more. I like pushing it in. So you can just push it in with your thumb. And yeah, pretty bright. Probably not as bright as the real Surefire X300 Ultra, but it's just fine for airsoft use. Moving to the slide itself, this is an Ace 1 Arms replica of the Agency Arms skeleton slide. You see it has the skeleton cutouts on either side and on the top. Again, this slide came with the gun. I'm not sure if they actually produce these anymore. A lot of the RMR slides for Airsoft Glocks are made for Glock 17s. I think this is one of the only ones I've seen for Glock 19, so I'm glad I actually found this Glock with this slide on it on HopUp, as they're very hard to get at the moment from what I've seen online. The slide kit includes the sights. These are a replica of the Trichicon suppressor height sights. The dots on them are really not great. Looks like it was just maybe painted with a really dull metallic silver, but it doesn't pick up very well at all. But I probably won't change that, as it has the RMR on it. Probably won't worry about it. The RMR that I have on here, this is an Ace 1 Arms RMR. It looks the part, has the Trichicon trademarks, and it's very bright. Let's see if we can get this thing to show up for you. Camera will probably have a hard time focusing, but you can see the dot there. Very bright, even on the lowest setting. See there. And then you just go all the way down to turn it off. It works fine. I like it. And moving forward, this is a 5KU. I think it's called the Micro V3 compensator. It just threads on, and then you kind of want to hold it level and then screw these set screws in so that it matches up there. And that is attached to Ace 1 Arms Glock 19 barrel. This is the flat model. Kind of has the flat grooves cut out in it, which I think looks pretty neat with the skeleton slide there. Now let's go ahead and strip this, take the slide off, show you the internal parts I have. First thing is the recoil rod. I had to kind of assemble this from parts. The cow rod for the Glock 19 that I got was actually designed for the TM Glock 19, which this slide is designed for the WE Glock 19. So the TM is actually a little bit longer, so I had to buy an Ace 1 Arms recoil rod, but I did swap some of the parts from the cow onto this one, like this black buffer, which is supposed to shorten the cycle. I haven't played around with this too much or cycled the gun yet with gas. And I also got this kind of like U-shaped barrel lock from the cow guide rod, which I think kind of completes it. One thing I'm not a fan of is how the front of the guide rod is just a screw head. Not a huge fan of that, but it's not a big deal. And then internally, I have this hop-up chamber here. Take this out. You can't take the barrel out when the compensator's on it, so I won't take that out. Here's the maple leaf hop-up set that I got from Shooter CB Gear. It comes complete with a 6.01 Type 4 barrel, the hop-ups chamber here, comes with the eye key, which used to be a different color. You can barely see it in there. It's silver, just like the arm. And it also includes the adjustment wheel. See there. I haven't played around with this too much, but I've heard this is actually a really great upgrade for the Glocks. So we'll see about that. Slide this back in, put it back together. Sometimes getting this guide rod back in can be a little bit tricky, but once you get it to poke through the front, you can just reseat the back of it there, and you can slide it back on. Frame. Make sure it locks into place and doesn't fly off again. Next thing I'd like to go over is the holster. This is a TMC replica of the Safariland 6354DO, I believe. It's a Safariland's holster that is wrapped in multicam, has the RMR hood, and fits a X300. The real Safarilands will fit X300 and the Streamlight TOR1 and I think something else, but this one will only fit a Glock that has an X300 on it. I tried to put my Streamlight on this and fit it in here, but it will not fit. So the TMC one will only fit a Glock with an X300. And this one is meant for a Glock 17, not a Glock 19, but your Glock 19 will fit in this holster just fine. And I did have to Dremel out the front of this to fit the compensator, which I didn't think I would have to do since the Glock 17 is a little bit longer, but a Glock 19 with a compensator is longer than a Glock 17 stock. So you can see I did have to Dremel. You'll see when I slide this gun in here. Alright, there it is, locked into place, and it just barely hits the front there. Doesn't poke through or anything like that, so it's a good fit, I think. But it did take me quite a bit of work to get this to fit. Had to pop out the kind of barrel shroud that's at the front of holsters, barrel cap or whatever it's called, and then Dremel like a new channel for it to fit. I was afraid I would actually take off all the material around here, but there's still a little bit, and it works just fine. Another area that I had to modify was the actual like nub. So it's on Safariland holsters, it actually catches on the ejection port, but with the compensator I have a similar shape, and it would catch the compensator. So I'd have it locked into the holster, go to draw it, and then it would catch right here. It still catches a little bit, but if it's one smooth drawing motion, it comes out just fine. But it would catch right here, and I couldn't get it out unless I pulled this down, but my drawing thumb is already way back here, so I smoothed it down a little bit so it didn't catch the compensator section as much, and it works just fine now. And another thing to note about the TMC, I'm not sure if a Safariland would do this as well, but you can kind of see the RMR pokes out a little bit, so it's not completely under this hood. Not a huge deal, but I am concerned that maybe something might run against the holster and kind of knock the RMR around a little bit. But for a replica, I can't really complain. My build fits in here just fine, even though it's not, you know, your vanilla build that you would put in a holster like this. But I am pretty happy with it. The holster was like $40, so with some modifications, it works just fine. And that's going to cover it for my Glock build. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.